Hello, and happy shiny puppy in training. I'm Melody Fletcher, and I teach the technology, reality, and law of attraction in a way that actually makes some freaking sense for a change. And today I want to answer a question from awesome Caroline, who writes, I have recently become more aware of the fairly profound difference between visualization and daydreaming. I love daydreaming. Sometimes I take myself off to far off lands for an adventure, or fantasize about what I would do if I won the lottery, or occasionally what life would be like if I had a hot body, or if that guy I've been crushing on decided he would like nothing better than to sweep me off my feet. I used to think that this was visualizing, and I assumed that I was no good at it, as none of those things have yet to happen. Would you be able to talk a little bit about the difference, and if daydreaming is useful at all, or if in fact it can be destructive? Well, awesome, Caroline. Thank you so much for your amazing question. I am more than happy to talk about the difference between visualizing and daydreaming. So let's start off by defining what visualization and daydreaming actually are. And, many of us are guilty, including me, of using it synonymously. But as your question points out, it actually isn't synonymous. And here's why I have used it synonymously sometimes in the past. Because people who are using visualization often work way too hard at it. Yeah, they turn it into some sort of really bad feeling exercise. They really hunker down and they're going to beat this thing and they're going to visualize. And so for them, I often kind of say, think about it more like daydreaming and fantasizing. It should feel good. Yeah, because otherwise you're not really using it to its for its intended purpose. But if we're going to be really, really honest, and we're going to get into semantics here, daydreaming and visualizing are not actually the same thing. So visualizing is an important tool of creation. So the way I see visualizing is this. If you turn on your television has the ability to take the signal that's broadcast, the broadcast signal, right, and turn it into a visual representation that you can see. Right? Before that, you don't see anything. It's just it's not physical. It's just energy waves floating about. But your television takes those energy waves and turns them into an actual picture. Yeah? So that you can view it, you can interact it, and with sound. Oh my God, and color nowadays. Woo! My goodness, we've come a long way. But visualizing is like your television set in your brain. Yeah? What you can do with visualization is you can take the energy of the frequency of your vibration on a topic, and you can actually see. Yeah, you can have it represented to you in a sort of a visual way, including with sound and music and anything else, sensations. It's not just visual. Sort of turning it into a sort of a three-dimensional experience, or an immersive sort of virtual reality experience that represents that frequency. So something that you can interact with, something that you can see. So if you let your sort of visualization run rampant, or your visualization uses your imagination, which is another important creation tool. Yeah. If you let your imagination sort of run wild on a topic, it will often show you some of your fears, some of the pieces of resistance, or just some of your beliefs. So for example, you might fantasize about being with that hot guy you mentioned. Yeah. And suddenly he kind of turns into a bit of a dick. And why would that happen? Because maybe you have a belief in there that guys that are that hot can't possibly also be nice. And then you could work on that. And you can actually use visualization. You can change the visualization to change the energy. Yeah, there are definitely ways to do that. When you're daydreaming, yeah, usually what you're doing is you're using it as a form of escape. So visualizing is a tool. You work it. Hopefully, if you're doing it correctly, it can be a powerful tool to help you fine tune or change your energy, or to just ferret out some information. And now daydreaming usually isn't like that at all. Yeah, what you're doing with daydreaming is you're usually distracting yourself. Yeah. So you're in a situation at work or at school or whatever, you're bored or it's uncomfortable, and you just sort of check out and go off into a different area. With daydreaming, a lot of the time we're in sort of real fantasy land, which means that it absolutely is not real to us. Yeah. So in a daydream, the guy that you're fantasizing about probably won't turn into a dick. But the problem is you're not really translating the energy of what's there. You're just sort of like, oh, la di da, that's nice. But it's sort of out there in the ethers. It's not close enough to you to actually create any kind of, it's not, you're not actually, having an interaction with your energy, and it's not a representation of your energy, nor can you shift energy by changing it because it's too far removed. So I'll give you an example. I was working with a young man a few years ago who, said, well, I said, what do you fantasize about? What do you daydream about? What do you visualize when you're thinking about being with a woman? He wanted help to have a relationship with a woman. And he said, well, his ideal woman, I believe, was Wonder Woman. I could be wrong about that, but it was a superhero. Yeah, so let's say Wonder Woman. Totally understandable because she's hot as hell and she's sexy, right? But and it felt good to him. So he's like, well, it feels good, so I'm doing it right, right? And so we checked in with it, and it was a daydream. It was a fantasy. He hadn't made it real. And here's how we made it real. We brought it sort of closer to him. This is how we see this. Wonder Woman's out here. We brought it closer to him and turned her into just a real woman that he could meet in his actual life. And that brought up all the fear. Yeah. So that was a little bit too close, brought up tons of fear. Wonder Woman, a little bit too far out, not engaging with the energy at all. So we had to find something in between. Yeah, that felt like we was really engaging. It felt really good. Maybe, felt a little bit scary good, but brought it right to the edge where we could work with it. You don't have to traumatize yourself and bring up all the fear at once. Yeah. So we took it from a daydream, from a fantasy, and brought it into a visualization. And this is where I would see the difference. It's different degrees of the same thing, really, but it's just how close do you get to where you are currently? How close do you get to your fears? Now, can daydreaming be beneficial? Absolutely. Distraction can be beneficial if you are deliberately distracting, meaning that you're getting the actual benefit of the feeling better. Yeah. So if you're in a situation where you're not feeling great and a little bit of daydreaming helps you feel better, or a little bit of Netflix, or a little bit of computer games, or a little bit of reading romance novels, or whatever you use to distract yourself, if you are doing it consciously and deliberately, then you're getting full benefit of feeling better. It is actually not the same as denial, where you're ignoring what's going on and you just pretending to feel better. Yeah, you're not ignoring what's going on. You're just saying, this does not feel good right now. I fully acknowledge that. I see it. I'm not ignoring it. But I'm going to go over here and help myself feel better. I'm going to raise my vibration. I'm going to get into a better state so that then I can take a look at this thing again from a higher vibration. So I can try to pull it up instead of trying to push it up from below. Yeah. Whereas with a sort of non-beneficial daydreaming, you're just daydreaming, getting feeling better, but you're not necessarily doing any kind of work to shift anything, and you're not really shifting energy in daydreaming as much as you're just kind of raising yourself on a different topic, to a higher vibration, a topic that already feels good. So if you do nothing but daydream, you're not going to really raise your vibration significantly. It will benefit you slightly, but you're not going to raise your vibration significantly because, again, it's so far out. Yeah. So you're not going to get the same benefit of visualizing something that is a little bit closer. So again, the difference between daydreaming and visualizing is just how close it is to you, how real it is to you. So I hope that I've cleared that up and haven't confused anybody any further. A little bit of a technical explanation there, but hopefully that has cleared it up for you and given you an insight into what is beneficial. So go ahead and fantasize, go ahead and daydream, but just bring it a little bit closer in if you want to visualize. But don't turn visualizing into super hard work either. Yeah, if it becomes too hard, move it out a little bit towards the daydreaming. Let it be a little bit more fun. Let it be easy and joyful for you. Okay, so until next week, I want to send you smushy, smushy, happy, shiny puppy hugs. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing your light to this world. Bye.